Peace and guidance. It's your brother, Unconquered Minds, where the motto is both building, organizing, and educating. So, as I'm sitting here watching these shorties overdose off fentanyl, these shorties become serious dope addicts, potheads at a young age. At the same time, the fertility rate is steady declining when it comes to the so-called black people here in America. Abortion at an all-time high. Black families getting smaller. Black families getting wiped out. Mixed race babies. Self-destruction from the homicide, the death, behind the drill music, death behind the drugs and the alcohol abuse, death at the hands of the parents, death at the hands of the children killing the parents, death at the hands of the children killing the grandparents. We getting slaughtered on every end of the board. And a lot of this shit is in-house. A lot of this shit had to do with we don't know ourselves as people, as an individual. Most people don't stand on no codes, no morals. Anything goes. For the love of the paper dollar, a motherfucker do anything. It's a lot of shit I won't do for no money. We watching in true time the Negro Project. A lot of us on these birth controls don't realize what it's doing to our insides. If somehow by nature we start to bleed at a young age, when I'm talking about the young women, young females, and then we can take a pill that can stop the bleed and stop birth at its tracks. So what is this thing doing to the inside of the body? What is it doing to the mind? You see what I'm saying? A lot of us don't know. We don't even know who came up with this. Why was it brought up? You know what I'm saying? So I was gonna read a little something real quick, and you think about it. You go do your own work. This coming from the Negro Project. The author Bruce Fillery, something like that. Bruce, the Negro Project. So check this out. It says, not only was Margaret Sanger found and was the founder of the birth control movement and Planned Parenthood, the nation's largest abortion provider. This was bad enough in itself, but as I looked more closely into her life, I discovered something that was more unsettling. Sanger was out racist and religious bigot who was also deeply involved in the eugenics movement of the earlier mid-20th century. But that's not all I discovered. Her work in eugenics, or attempts to improve the human race through selective breeding, what she called it, led her to categorize the disabled, either mentally or physically, members of the race or cultures, or any other negative aspect she could attribute to them as being somehow unfit to continue. And where Black America were concerned, her Negro Project would be the vehicle by which this eradication would be carried out. Moreover, Margaret Sanger did not act alone. She had plenty of help with her scheme and legions of followers to help her bring it off. Well, he probably meant pull it off, but to help her bring it off, as the readers will soon discover. So I just read that quick thing to show you that we think Margaret Sanger, well, most of y'all think Margaret Sanger brought up Planned Parenthood as the core of it was to destroy a certain race. I had read a quote years ago behind Margaret Singer where she said black people was like weeds. You got to pull them up from the root. So if you stop it at the root, you ain't got to worry about the tree. See, I got a tree in my front yard. When I first bought this house, I had a tree. And the root, you could see the roots had started cracking the sidewalk. And the limbs was coming over the house. So what I did, I hit the limbs that was leaning over the house, but then they started growing out the other way. So I took the chainsaw and I hit the roots. And I cut them limbs back in February. But when I hit them roots back in March, the limbs that's on the tree haven't grown yet. They stopped where they started. They stopped at. You feel me? Where I cut them at. What I'm saying is, if you hit the root, you got to worry about the group. If you keep hitting the roots, you don't have to worry about the group. And that's what this brother breaking down in the Negro Project. And it's going on right now. But now we are engaging in a lot of self-destruction. We engage in a lot of suicide amongst each other. When you hear the term race, what do you think about? If I go outside and say, let's race, what do you think about? We gonna line up, on your mark, get set, we gonna run a competition. So when we talk about different races, that means different groups of people in a competition on what is the prize? Survival. What is the prize? Know thyself. What is the prize? Resources. What is the prize? Heaven on earth. What is the prize? Knowing who you truly are. And a lot of us don't know that. A lot of us lacking that. A lot of our people engage in self-destruct. A lot of our people treat the black woman as if she anything else but a black woman. And a lot of the black women, they dumb themselves down to just ass, thighs, and titties. Like, I'm a man, so I'm gonna look and even say, damn, that should look nice. But what's in your head? You got a pretty face, but what that head about? You see what I'm saying? I had a quote what I adopted from a brother. He said, I'd rather give you knowledge than give you dick. Because knowledge is way longer and thicker than dick will ever be. So once you get the head, you got the body. And see, that's what the pimp manipulation was about. I get the body, I got the mind. I get the mind, I got the body. The body can't go nowhere the mind hasn't been. As above, so below. And let your will be done in heaven as it is on earth. In the mind as it is on earth. The imagination as it is in the nation. Like when they're in the church, like I said before, they say, let the church say amen. The people say amen. So the people is the church. The body is the temple. So the Negro Project is in full effect when we talking about the decline of the black baby due to birth control, Planned Parenthood, Plan B, the morning after pill, all that. You see what I'm saying? I ain't telling you just go out and have a baby with anybody. Know what you're doing. Know who you dropping your seed in. And you can't blame the woman, or when she was tripping. No, you planted your seed in her garden. You ain't tilled the ground first, homie. So we not pointing the finger at one and not the other. And she shouldn't let you came over here with your seed if you ain't know how to keep the ground fertilized. You ain't know how to till the ground before you drop the seed. So be mindful of what's going on. Protect your inner peace. Or you might just find yourself without peace, in the shamble, in a perpetual war within yourself I'm Va. Peace.